show from OnTheStick.com where you're Shane Bettenhausen with Ignition Entertainment at PAX East, and he's El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron.
Yes, it's a mouthful. And it's also kind of a heavy thing to wrap your brain around. I guarantee it's the only game here based on ancient biblical apocrypha, hopefully. And it's kind of crazy. It's a game that's developed in Japan based on the Dead Sea Scrolls. And people have heard of Dead Sea Scrolls, but in terms of what that really is, like I didn't quite know myself. And what it is these chapters of the Bible that kind of got deleted along the way. A few different sects around the world do still consider this to be canon, but in general, it's considered apocryphal. And it kind of tells an alternate telling of Genesis, where like God creates Earth, and He sends some of His angels out to watch over the Earth. But the angels kind of go astray, and humanity starts worshiping them instead of God. And they start building the Tower of Babel to reach heaven and take over heaven. So at the beginning of the game, God is like, this is no good, this is not what I planned, we're going to send a flood down and reset humanity. He's like, wait, there's one other thing we should try. He had this human named Enoch, and he was the most devout human that ever lived. He's in the Bible, he's in Genesis. He's a scribe who works in heaven. So I should send Enoch down to Earth to try to bring these angels back. If that fails, then what's happening? So you play as Enoch, you go down to heaven, from heaven to Earth, and you kind of get your ass kicked. You die. First of all, you're totally dead. And God rewinds time, it's like, okay, this isn't working. So they give him this crazy armor, you've probably seen this weird white armor, these crazy weapons, then he can actually do it. So he goes and finds the Tower of Babel. The level that we have here at PAX is the third level of the game. It's the first level in the tower. And you'll see the graphics are insane, very abstract. The idea is each of these fallen angels has built a utopia inside the tower. Like had they made Earth, this is the vision they would have taken. Let us go really kind of nuts with the visuals and the level design. Because of that, it really stands out. Every other game here is kind of trying to be photorealistic. We're trying to be surrealistic. And that is the vision of the game's director, this guy named Sawaki Takayasu. He worked on a game, Kami, that came out for GameCube and PS2. So we kind of formed a new team in Tokyo. He brought some of his friends from Clover Studios, a bunch of other guys together. And they worked on this game for the last 2 years. And I'm really, really proud of the final product. It's unlike any other game you're ever going to see. And it comes out this summer in North America. It's coming out end of April in Japan. And yeah, so far the response to PAX has been great. And I've been impressed. People are really good at the game. Like I've actually learned combos from people here at the show. I've beaten the game. So
is it's Xbox 360 and PS3?
Yeah, it's PS3, 360 box product coming out this summer. Hopefully we're going to do a collector's edition with like an art book and a soundtrack and stuff. There's all this really great art from the game. Yeah, I'm really excited.
It's really, we talk about that a lot, and the photorealistic thing, there's a point where it peaks out and you get a lot of weird uncanny valley shit going on. So seeing stuff like this, I really mark out for stuff like this. And I heard that God also outfitted the hero with a pair of designer jeans.
Also,
is that true?
That is true. So when we gave this ancient biblical text to Japan, we're like, keep the story in place, but you can have a little bit of freedom around the edges. And so it kind of went through this Japanese anime lens, and you get Lucifer. He can travel through time, so he goes to the future, and he falls in love with fashion. So he buys a bunch of designer clothes, and he gives a pair of jeans to Enoch. He also gets a cell phone, and he uses the cell phone to call God. So as you're playing through the game, Lucifer, he saves your game. He'll be like, hey God, what's up, what's going on? And there's a few other little winking nods. It's a bit like Metal Gear that way. It's like, it doesn't take itself completely seriously, but at the end of the day, it does tell a really gripping, emotional, serious story that is the story of the Book of Enoch. So hopefully no one who really believes this will be offended because of the themes in it. But I think it treads a very delicate line, but it keeps it entertaining.
So what was your role on this? I know previously you worked on finding Japanese games that Ignition could bring over to the US.
Right, games like Muramasa, Deadly Premonition, and some of the new games we have like Swarm, are games I signed. But this game was already in development when I first started 2 years ago, but it was still kind of in the formative stages. So I went to Japan about a year and a half ago and talked to the team, and kind of helped with the development a little bit. Because back then they had one 2D level in the game. And the director was like, what do you think? Do you think Americans are going to like this? He was worried that Americans wouldn't like 2D. It was too old. Like, no, 2D is awesome. It's really cool. Make more of this. So actually, like, the last half of the game has a lot of 2D. About a third of the game is 2D. And those levels are awesome. So, and in terms of the tone and like some of the balancing, we've been playing the game and getting feedback from last year.
You were more involved on this than say on Muramasa or King of Fighters 12.
And I'll say, because of my history, the kind of things I like, this game really is close to my heart. Like, I'm a huge fan of Evangelion. It's an anime series from about 15 years ago. And this is very similar in that it's taking Western mythology through this Japanese lens, having a little fun with it. So to me, this is this is the kind of game, but I would have imported this the day it came out in Japan. I would. Like, this is my kind of game, so I feel like I can help communicate what's good about this to the end user. And in Japan, it's already like kind of poised for success. People have caught on to the characters. It's become like this meme on the internet. And last week they announced toys coming from Shaddai. There's an announcement coming about a potential comic book. So hopefully El Shaddai will have like a long, fruitful future, because even at the end of this game, you're kind of left with a lot of unanswered questions about where it goes from here. Because like you kind of have foreknowledge that maybe this Lucifer guy not so good eventually, and maybe Enoch turns into something else. Like if you actually read the book of Enoch, you can kind of get spoilers of where this thing is going. But yeah, I'm just really excited. The response has been great. So we were worried because here at PAX you see like very realistic games. You see Battlefield. You see Gears of War. Like this is not realistic.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, man.